All right, hello, ladies and gents. I am Nas. Welcome back to another edition of the OWA OmegaCast. Today, I have the long-anticipated spirit of Kenny Drake
Woo!
talking to us straight from the afterlife.
I'm dead as shit.
Now we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna hop in right away. Cloud with the first question: how did you come up with Kenny Drake? Where was Kenny Drake's inspiration?
The original version of Kenny Drake was just supposed to be like a straight up just shooter, like just a shoot wrestling kind of guy. So I came up with him. My buddy and I were playing WWE 2K12 or just 12, whatever it was called. And he
Okay.
had like a big powerhouse wrestler guy, and I wanted to come up with someone who wasn't like just a weirdo. So I came up with Kenny Drake, and I really liked the name. And then I just kind of kept using them in feds and shit like that. And then I met you guys in EAW, and or I can't say that, in the Jersey
No. You can.
cruising
No,
game.
we've never banned people saying it. It's just that everyone
I
just elected not to say it.
fair. I'm gonna be the only one who's brave, and I'm gonna fucking say it. EAW. This is that.
EAW.
EA Dubs. And yeah, they I met you guys there, and then y'all have seen the progression of Kenny since then. But
Yes, sir.
it
He
was
started off as a
it,
shooter, but he
now
became
he's a stabber.
he became a weirdo after all.
Oh, you know it. You know it. I can never help it. I always have to make them complete psychopaths.
Next question from Savannah Sunshine. What are some of your favorite matches that you've been in?
Fuck, that's a good one. I love all of the Tara Kenny feud. So every match that was between me and Tara was
That three-way series.
that was just like my favorite shit. Like that stuff was so good. And then the match against Cage, where I killed him, thought that was pretty tight.
Yeah.
That was a well written shit. Um, God, fucking everything, man. Like with JD, like back in the AW for the Period Championship, like that whole feud, like all those matches were just like just really well written and just like really interesting. And like that was the first time I've ever seen a character of mine not just treated like shitty. And I was just like, oh wow, cool. Like so that's what a good match looks like. I was like, that's pretty sick. So yeah, like all of that shit like is kind of tattooed into my heart about like just like oh I love that JD feud. But in OWA it's got to be like the Terra. Like I'm gonna go with Terra 2. Kenny Terra 2 was my favorite match of all time involving me.
Really, the second one. I feel like that's the one that gets talked about the least of the three.
Yeah, the one that took place at Heaven's Den. I thought that shit was
The
because
one,
I like
yeah, that was
what's
the
up?
one. That was the one where you forced her into joining the Wolves Den.
Yep, it was like the Empire Strikes Back of the whole trilogy, where it's like everything just seems so bleak at the end. It's like, oh, how can everything be righted? And then here we are. But I thought I thought that I did a real, not to toot my own horn. I hate fucking talking about my own shit, but like I thought I did an okay job of making it seem like a horror movie up until the match, and then the match itself. I thought I did a pretty good job of it. I thought it had a really good reaction in chat, so I was pretty proud of that. And I just like the way it all kind of the visual of it all. Be like you can't close your eyes and read it. That's a stupid thing to say. What the fuck am I talking about? No, but I think
Your OWA World Championship victory was also brought up.
that's yeah. That just still seems kind of surreal. So I still don't really believe that happened. Like,
Well, it happened. It's in the history books, man.
it's I won it and lost it. So I guess it did happen. Hey, what do you know? Yeah, that's up there too, man. Like pretty much anything involving me, I like. So I'm a pretty arrogant guy. So like pretty much anything I like. I like everything that I've done since joining OWA. It's all been just fucking sick.
Well, your opponent in that world title match, Arya, she asked,
Hmm.
will you promise never to stab her again? Well, I don't think you're capable of doing that in your current state.
No, even if I Even if I wasn't dead, I promise I will never stab you again, unless you're a champion and I'm going for your title. Then
Will Ray and JJ be allowed to E-Fed?
no,
Good.
shit, no. I want them to have friends.
If you could beat Nostalgia's ass in real life, would you?
Probably.
Is there a part
First,
of
I would.
you? Hold on. Is there a
First, I would
part?
write a first. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. Sorry.
Is there a part of you that wishes you had Killer Cross as a base from the beginning?
Mm, a little bit. A little bit. I like how it looks, but I don't know. The change to Marty from Michael Pitt, I thought was really cool, and I really liked being Marty. And until it turned out that he was a sex pest, apparently everybody in England.
Yeah.
And but no, I liked being Marty. It fit the character, and then the change to Cross, it seemed like a really natural kind of change. So no, I think it all worked out pretty well. I think it worked out pretty well the way it was. Oh, my knee.
Uh, Let me see here. Why did you have to die? This question is from Maverick.
Because I couldn't do this anymore. So I told Oasis that if anyone had to die in the Great War, you can kill me off, go for it. And he was just like, you dead ass, and I was like, I don't know what that means. And the infamous Jeff joke about me not knowing what dead ass means. And but yeah, no, I had to go and die because I couldn't come up with anything good anymore for Kenny. Like it was either going to be I die or I start sucking really, really bad. So I was like, you know what? Let's go out in a literal blaze of glory. Instead
Do
of
you
being
think
really shit.
Oasis? Do you think Oasis is a bitch from Savannah?
Shit, no. Shit, no. That's a bitch ass question, man. What the fuck?
Damn.
How dare you ask such questions? My boss. He's my boss.
What is your E-Fed legacy from Maverick?
I don't know. Complaining or I have no idea. I guess. Um, I don't know. I don't know. just being here. I'm here a lot. I'm here
Fair,
in chat a lot. That's pretty much it.
fair enough.
That's I don't know. I don't know what like I don't know if that's like a real, sorry, Mav. I don't know if that's like a legit question or if that's like, like I can't come up with anything funny. I'm tired. So I'll just say
Well,
TBD.
there's the Wolves Den.
The what?
The Wolves Den.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty sick name. Did you just come up with that?
Off the dome.
Man, that's some impressive shit right there. See, that's why you're the conquering Messiah.
Well, speaking of off the dome, we got 4 questions here from
Jesus,
Scott Oasis.
nice.
Early Kenny Drake had the voice, which I loved getting to write. What made you come up with that and led to you changing up from that aspect of the character?
That's a wonderful question. I loved voice. I thought the voice was hilarious, and that well, well, you know what I mean.
Could you
But I
explain the
based it.
voice a little bit for those that don't know?
Yeah, so original Kenny Drake out in EAW, he heard a voice in his head, aptly named voice, that would, essentially just kind of be like just someone for him to riff off of and to like just talk shit to and talk shit to him and talk shit about the situation. It was all entirely based on Deadpool, 100% based on Deadpool, and I just really wanted Kenny to come off as like a fucking weirdo and like just like no one else but him and Nikki could hear voice, which I thought was a really weird, just very funny thing. How his wife is so connected to him that she's like, yeah, I can hear it too. Yeah, he's a fucking asshole. Yeah, I hear it. So it's I don't know. So voice was that. And yeah, I came up with it because I was reading a lot of Deadpool at the time. And what made me change it was I just kind of changed the gimmick and of Kenny Drake, and it didn't really. I mean, it did kind of make sense for a cult leader to be hearing a voice, but not that voice. You know what I mean? Like it was a too comedic. So if it was to be like, oh, Kenny's leading a cult, but then there's voice, then it would be like, oh, okay, it's a wacky dacky, let's drink some Kool-Aid kind of cult, not a crazy one. So I just kind of tried to allude to him having a voice in his head that he was listening to, and that like maybe voice himself had changed, and like voice had become a little bit darker. But I think I just kind of abandoned it because it was like, I don't really, it's too much work. So like keep trying to make voice relevant.
All right, then. Our next question from Oasis: people you would have joined. People you wish would have joined the Wolves Den that did not.
Arya, straight up, like that was my very first. Like that's. I think I have a monthly standing appointment to ask her to join Wolves Den. Like I think every month since joining OWA, I've asked her if she wants to join Wolves Den, either as a joke or completely serious. But she's the number one that I've always wanted to have in it. Azumi, 100%. The whole backstory behind that is she was
I
supposed to.
I know about
Yep,
that, but go
yep.
ahead and tell it.
She was supposed to actually take over Wolves Den
Yes.
back in EAW, and then that got kind of shitted on by people who, weren't really as invested in it as I was. But the original plan was there was someone who, like, there was some masked character of Wolves Den that attacked. I forgot who, but they never revealed themselves, and it was eventually going to be revealed to be Azumi, and it just never came to fruition. But that was always kind of like a shit, man. That would have been so fucking rad if, like, you pulled off the mask and it was Azumi Godo, and people would be like, "What the fuck?"
Oasis
That'd
said
been.
that Keelan was the person that got beat down.
It was Keelan. That makes sense. That makes sense. That's who I was feuding with at the time. That makes perfect sense. Yeah, see, I got such a shit memory. But yeah, no, that was yeah. Zumi was number one, or not number one, but she was definitely someone who I wanted in there.
Right. So there's those two.
There's those two. As of now in OWA, Jeff, 100%. Fucking like, he's just the greatest. He's just like the best dude. I already got Cage, so that's I had
Yeah.
to kind of poach. I had to poach him when I
Right.
first saw him sign up and be like, oh shit, he's gonna be better than me, so I better get him under my stable so I can take credit. So and I did, but yeah, I mean, like, like all like the main players like Oasis, you, Terra, like I just wanted to fill up Wolves Den and just have like anyone who wanted to be a heelish psychopath that was unrestricted could join Wolves Den, and I always wanted that to be like the whole basis of it. But yeah, I guess those would be like my top guys, like my top ones, and then shit, I just thought of someone super good too, and I can't remember it. So guess it wasn't that good. Who the fuck was it? Goddamn weed. Can't remember anything anymore. Oh well.
Well, our third part of the question: feelings on EAW Wolves Den versus OWA Wolves Den. Overall differences, how it evolved, etc.
I like both versions. They're both different versions of it. So like it's different. Like in EAW it was more of like a gang, and it was supposed to be more like unruly and more like a sort I'm looking for like a I can't think of the word. It was supposed to be like a violent kind of street gang that where like you never know what they're gonna do and like who they're gonna attack and like what's gonna happen.
Like a ragtag group is what Oasis said.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, like a ragtag group that was like we just we all just commonly want to hurt people, and that's why we all came together, because we all back each other in hurting people. So, we're just a violent group of people.
Right.
And then the OWA version was what I've was like just I got free reign to kind of just do whatever I wanted with it. And I was just like, well, what would be I've always wanted to see a cult done well, so let's see if I can do a cult well. And I think I did a mildly okay job. But both of them served the purposes that they had, and they both were great storytelling mechanics, and both were fucking fun as shit to be a part of. Like, I was just kind of bummed that the EAW version didn't get to go a little bit more in depth, but whatever. It's like 4 years ago. It doesn't matter. I
Right.
got to do more fun. I got to do more fun shit over here. So what's the matter?
Very true. Very true. And the final part of his question: thoughts on how Kenny's death turned out and the aftermath it had in all the different storylines.
I'm pretty sure I've told him a couple of times that I'm like, I don't get legit teary eyed, but I get teary eyed thinking of like, just man, that was people are really like taking to this. Like, that's really cool, man. That's really cool. Like, I thought the death itself was fucking masterfully written. I mean, anything Oasis touches turns to gold, so I wasn't worried about that. But like, just the death itself and then the aftermath was just so well done. And so like it's both final and open. Like, if if shit goes one way, it could Kenny could come back, and if shit continues to go the way it goes, then Kenny's dead. But it all is working out in like such a way where it's just very fucking well done storytelling, and it's
And
it's really cool.
you can still see the effect that it has on people
Exactly.
amongst all three shows.
Exactly. And it's like it bleeds over into like completely random different storylines, where it's like you'll have people like Debbie bringing it up, and you'll just be like, "Oh, that's fucking cool." How like, she's making her character be affected by it too. Like, that's
or
pretty
like
cool.
or like a big
Like
one, Nate Cage now being involved in the Omega Heavyweight title match, and how
fucking exactly.
yeah,
I mean,
he finally gets his big world championship break, but it's only after Kenny's
it
passed on.
exactly. See, it's like it's just so well written and well layered that it's like it almost feels like it's been planned since the very beginning, but it was just kind of like a, hey, if you I think I'm kind of done with this. If you want to kill anyone off, let it be me. And he's like, all right, done and done. But it's just like you guys just know each other so well, and y'all know each other's shows and brands so well that you can just be like, oh, okay, well, we're gonna make this work for everybody. And then you fucking did, man. And then like the promos that Arya and Jeff did afterwards were just like I don't want to say beautiful, but they were fucking beautiful, man.
Yeah, no, for
Like
real.
the one that like the one that Arya did, like I almost started like just tearing up and going like, damn, dude, like she's like shit, that's I don't know, man. It's very cool to see something so well done be like kind of spawned because of something that I created. I don't know if that makes sense or not. I'm rambling now, but
It does.
nice, tight, thank you. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. But no, yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. I thought it was just pure brilliance.
Well, our next question from Aria. What was it like for Nikki Khan to win the Women's World Championship so early, and thoughts on her Odyssey run?
Oh Jesus! It was completely out of the blue. That might have been the biggest shock of my entire e-fetting career, because that was just like I mean, we all read Nikki's promos. They were fucking crazy. Like, she was a lunatic. And then to beat someone like Diantha, and just be like, that was. I don't know. It was mind blowing. Like I even like was in call with Jeff and all those guys. I'm just like I was tripping. Like I was just like that's fucking nuts. Like you guys are nutty. But yeah, no, it was really cool. I was really proud of myself for being able to you know do that and to be able to beat fucking someone like Diantha. And it was just, I don't know, it's really cool. And the Odyssey run was, once again, perfectly written. Like, I mean,
And even
same.
like Nikki's Nikki's like writing off
It was perfect. It was perfect, and that
that,
was all.
like Nikki's
Like,
writing off pretty much set up everything we see right now on Odyssey. Crazy enough.
yeah,
So
hmm
once again,
exactly. Yeah, hey, well, look at that, man. See, look at that. I'm all about storytelling. If anything, I'm all about storytelling. So there we are. But that was all Jeff too, because I kind of just sprung this whole retirement thing on everybody just last minute, and I was just like, hey Jeffrey, I don't really think I want to do this anymore. And he was just like, well, you're kind of the women's world champion. I was like, yeah, I know, but I don't want to be shitty at it. And he was just like, all right, we'll figure something out, buddy, no worries. And he came up with this idea of having Revy fire Nikki, and I was just like, oh fuck, that's gonna be make her the biggest heel in the world. Oh my god! So we had to do it. It was just brilliant. It was Jeff. Jeff is just brilliant. He's brilliant. Pretty much everyone who writes for OWA is brilliant. So
our next question from Miss Azumi. Your
oh shit,
Arya and Azumi, forgot to mention this. Your fellow Hall of Fame inductees. For those that haven't read Kingdom yet, I'm
that's
pretty sure
right.
you all have. Mr. Kenny Drake is the third
Ooh.
member of the Hall of Fame this year.
Yes, indeed. Thank you guys. I'm stoked.
So, your fellow Hall of Fame inductee asks, your
Hmm.
favorite set of opponents to promo against?
Ooh. 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 Jesus Christ. That's a
I'll give you 5
that's a
to help you
goddamn good
streamline it a
one.
bit better.
Jesus Christ, that's a good one. Gotta go Tara.
Okay, that's 1.
Tara. Cage.
2.
Fucking Carlos. Any version of Carlos.
3.
Um, Oasis was fun.
4.
And can I do a tie? Can I do a tie between like I want to do JD and Chaos Elite.
All right. Well, there
Well,
you go. It's a good selection of people right there.
that's pretty good. Yeah.
Some unexpected names, but I mean that makes it all the more fun.
Well, I mean, like I think you're talking about Chaos Elite, yes.
Yeah, those guys
Yeah.
are really good.
Well,
I mean, I promoted against both of them too. They're
but
really good.
here's the reason why is because those dudes when they're like coming up with promos together are fucking gnarly. And like Eon, like I think he's gonna take over the fucking world. So Eon's the goat. And then Quinn is the apparently the best writer in the world. So like those two together is just like really intimidating. So it's like it brought out a lot of um shit in me when I was with Grime, and it was just like fuck these guys are fun to promo against. Like they're making me actually come up with shit and like try to think of things to say instead of just being like, okay, what can I rehash from some movie I saw 10 years ago that no one else saw? And I was like, no, I actually got to like come up with a character and like come up with something weird to say to these dudes. And no, they're fun as fuck. Like they're fun as shit.
And the second part of Azumi's question: thoughts on being inducted in this class with her and Arya so far?
I'm unbelievably honored because I mean, you two are, it's Zumi and Arya. Like, when you look at these three, it's like one of these things is not like the others, and it's like two of them are really good, and then here's Kenny.
Oh, come
So
on.
Well, you know me. I'm not gonna big myself up, but I'm gonna definitely big them up. So I mean, shit, like just to be like included with those guys is an honor in and of itself. So like, getting inducted is fucking so cool, and thank you guys so much for deciding that. But like, especially with like Arya and Nazumi, it's like fucking wow, man. Like that's pretty good company right there. Like
Right.
that's uh that's pretty good. Like you got Mount Rushmore, and then you got me chipping away at a little pebble down there, going like, I'm on there too. I'm coming in with you.
And our next question from Cernobi.
Yeah.
Your favorite part of the feud with JD for the Pure Championship way back?
Ooh. I'm gonna say getting locked in the insane asylum. I thought that shit was pretty cool. Like, because once again, it goes back to the whole idea that like I can't believe that people were like doing cool shit with my character. So to be like, whoa, there's like an actual storyline going on with Kenny Drake, and he's not just losing to the champion. Like we're moving on. It's like this, is, this Oasis guy is actually like putting some thought into this. That's pretty cool. And then the whole insane asylum thing happened. It was just like, fuck. Now my character has like directions to go in, and I'm like, oh god, I actually have like motivation now to write. Oh my god, this is crazy. So that was my favorite part of the whole thing, was just when that insane asylum, and like he was locked in there, and he like couldn't hear voice. I think that was like the whole thing too. Was like he was drugged up, so he couldn't hear voice, so he was like fully alone. I was just like, that's some well written shit right there. Like that's cool. That's some really cool stuff. And then I beat him clean, clean as a whistle for the pure title.
Our very next question from Stephanie Matsuda, Big Cloud, Big Nahim. Inspirations for promos. Well, you kind of elaborate on that with the whole movie thing.
Right. I guess it kind of depends. I guess it kind of depends on who I am. Like if I'm Kenny, then it's usually movies or some sort of monologue from some psychopath or something like that. And if it's Nikki, then I just kind of am like, oh, okay, well, what would she say right now? And then put a knife in her hand and have her kill an animal, and then there's Nikki Khan promo. And then Grime, I was just trying to be Eddie Kingston as hard as I could. I was just thinking about like, what would it sound like if Eddie Kingston was staring into a camera, and he was from Portland, and he was talking shit, and that was Grime. So like, it was a lot of different things, but like, I think the most, I know this wasn't part of the question, but I'm going to add on to it. The most fun one to write for, I think, was Nikki, just because it was like, this is, I can 100% hear her saying all of this shit, because she is a fucking lunatic.
Yeah.
And that's why I love her so goddamn much. Because she is crazy. In a fun way, honey. Relax.
Cloud asks, how does it feel to be killed by his alt? He means, of course, Abholos.
It's, he can go. His alt can go fuck himself and his Abholos, but whatever. Yeah, it feels great. Feels fine. I love everything Cloud does, so I'm glad to be involved with him too. I'm just happy to be here. If we take anything away from this podcast, I'm just happy to be here.
Very true. That we have learned. But I'm pretty sure we knew that for a long time.
No. Let's see.
See, from young Revenant, Mr. Bishop, what's your favorite pizza topping?
Pepperoni and black olive. I don't know if that's weird or not, but
interesting.
I like that a lot.
I've never heard people say black olive before.
No shit. No,
yeah.
that's my jam right there. Pepperoni and black olive. That's this. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. It's super good.
Oh, JD's in here.
JD?
Jeff also came in.
Yes! Okay, we have to start over again.
Start over.
All right, ask the very first question. How did I come up with Kenny Drake? Okay.
We're not that far in. It's okay.
No, I know, I'll just bet. But yeah, yeah, pepperoni and black olives. That is my shit. You give me a nice New York pizza with that on it, and I am a happy young man.
Very nice. Very nice. Our next question from Kimberly Chase.
Kimberly.
Well, okay, never mind. This question, this question doesn't apply to you anymore now that I'm reading it. Because the question was, how many feds are you currently in? But obviously we know that situation.
Actually, I am in Slaughterhouse.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I am in Slaughterhouse. Jackie Khan is currently the American horror champion.
And
so
would you join more outside of that?
I have been thinking about Law Jet, but
Johnny Law.
This nigga.
I'm thinking about it, but I just don't have ideas. I don't want to just be like, and here's Jackie Khan, and here throw her into the mix too because I'm bored, I want to contribute. So once I come up with something fun for them to do, and I can pitch something, and Cloud is like, okay, yeah, that's cool, let's do that, then let's get to it. But until then, I don't want to just take up the spot and just kind of be like, and I'm here now, and I'm gone again. So,
all right, from 3 more questions from Mr. Oasis. Favorite video games?
Skater XL. Red Dead 2, No Man's Sky, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Very nice picks. Picks.
Right? That's mine.
Favorite.
That was a good one.
Favorite skateboard memory?
Oh, okay. Now I might start crying. No, I have a lot of great memories of skating. San Francisco and LA and New York and all that good stuff. Man, we just had so much fun. I probably shouldn't tell that one. I'd say the time that we what? Hold on, sorry, 1 second.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I'll be double sure of the window. No worries. All right. Good night, honey. Love you. Hey, what's a good skate story I told you before? I don't know. I tell you so many. Poor girl. All right. A good skateboard memory. I'm gonna go with this time when we were in San Francisco, and it was me and my friend Nestor and my friend Julian, and my car broke down in the Mission District, which, if anyone's ever been to San Francisco, they know that is not a good place for your car to break down in the middle of the street. So Nestor is a fucking moron, but he's a really good skateboarder. And he got out of the car and tried to put the car onto his board, which doesn't make any fucking sense. And we were trying to tell him that doesn't make any fucking sense. And he's like, no, we just gotta push it up onto it and then we can roll it. He's a fucking moron. So we're trying to put this stupid fucking Jetta onto 2 skateboards while we're arguing about how bad it's not gonna work. While all these crackheads that are around us is going it's not gonna fucking work, man. It's not gonna fucking work, you dumb fucking skaters. What the fuck are you doing? It's not gonna fucking work, bro. And we're just listen to the crackhead. He's right.
Listen to the crackhead. He's right.
Whereas
that's great.
He's fucking right, man. The crackhead knows. And so Nestor finally just gives in and he skates off and we just abandon my Jetta and the fucking middle of the Mission District, and we're like, okay, let's just go skate this little spot and wait for us to see it get towed away, I guess. And it was, we just kind of skated for another half an hour and went back, and no one had touched the car, and just like, this is the shittiest night ever. And we went to a strip club and just kind of waited around until like my dad came to pick us up, and it was just it wasn't so much the skating, it was just how fucking stupid we all were because of skating, I think. Like, see, now if I didn't go out skating every weekend, I probably would have read more books and I wouldn't be as dumb as I am. But because I would go out and try to practice kickflips on stupid things, here we are. So I would say that's my favorite memory. As of right now, I'm sure I can come up with 1,000 more and keep you all here for 1,000 years.
Well, very nice either way. Now, any shows that your kids watch that you kind of enjoy yourself?
Actually, yeah. To be honest with you,
Every parent says yes to that, so I already
some
knew.
are, yeah, man, some are pretty fucking good. Let's see. I really like Curious George. That shit's hilariously cute. Um, this little British show that Raven and Jubilee love called Kazoops. It's like he has a pet pig, and it's just adorable. And I don't know. A lot of them are really clever, but I'm gonna go with Curious George. That's my favorite one. I would probably watch that and like finish the season if Ray fell asleep, like while we were watching. Like, all right, a couple more episodes. Let's see what that little weird monkey's up to. Like, and then there's the other one called Eleanor Wonders Why. That's really cute, and I just like them just because like they're cute, you know. And I'm like, oh, now I'm in that mindset. So like, I just kind of watch them and go like, oh, that's a cute little lesson for her to learn. And then she's not paying attention. And I'm just like, okay, I'll finish the episode. Fuck you. I mean, like, I'll tell you about it later. Then I'll tell you what the little rabbit does. But yeah, those are my preferred kids shows.
Very nice.
Of course, she watches fucking Blippi, which I don't know if anyone knows who that is, but he's the worst thing to ever happen. So he's like this fucking clown man that just, God, I hate him. Anyway, yeah, no, I won't go too crazy on him. But yeah, there's a favorite, and then there's a very blatant least favorite, and it's Blippi. He's like a multi-millionaire. He's like touring in Dubai and shit. You're just like, that's not fair. Here I am actually working a real job, and he's just being a dickhead and dropping shit into his pool and going like, hey, is it sink or float? It's fucking dickhead. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, Oasis posted the picture of Blippi.
No, God, yep. You son of a bitch.
All right, well, our next question comes from Bav. Your favorite promoers of this season, not necessarily that you face, but just favorite people to watch promo. And he said from any brand. I'll alter this slightly. Give me a couple people from each brand. So we'll start with Kingdom, since that's, Kingdom is your stomping grounds.
That is my home. Gotta go with Jeff. Jeff. I gotta start with Jeff. Do everything he does is like, I just think it's just genius, like he just knows his character very well. Maverick has been impressing me a lot this season because he just works, like he just knows what he's doing, like he's really good. And fucking Havoc, like I can't not say Havoc because holy shit, does Chris know how to fucking promo, right?
Yeah.
Is that like Jesus Christ, is he good?
Absolutely.
Like it makes you sad. Like you're just like, what the fuck? Like, how are you so good at this shit? And you're just, and I don't know, man. Like, and he's good. Like, just, yeah, Havoc. No, Havoc's my number one guy. Havoc and Jeff are tied for number one. Sorry, Jeff. And Maverick. And since they're tied for number one, let's go with Arata. Arata is just, oh God, everyone's so fucking good. I can't even pick. God, I can't pick. Yeah, okay, let's just go with them. Let's just go with it.
All right, so that's Kingdom. That's Kingdom. What about young Olympus?
Olympus.
You've
Dark
had some dealings with many of the Olympus people,
I
both this
shockingly
season and
have.
over the years. So
I
Darkane.
shockingly have. Darkane is so good that he like actually pisses me off. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I mean,
or it's
you
like
got to be good to out promo 39 other people.
exactly right. It's like you read his shit, and you're just kind of like, okay, there's the winner. Well, that was easy. You know, like fucking okay. Well, that was an easy pick. Like, and it's just he's just like just how do you have such a good grasp on like your character's voice that you can just write that much so well? You know, like that's how I feel about Havoc and Jeff and like all those guys. You know, like it's just like they just have such a good grasp of how their character should sound that everything just it's like I see like this like whole wall of text and I'm like, oh no, now I have to actually pay attention and read, and then like I'm done and I'm like, I want to read more. Like you guys are so good at this. But Darkane, um I mean you can't not say Fiora because homie's the world champion and is killing it. Like dude knows, like he went from ice simp matches to the world heavyweight, like he's fucking amazing. Like, and then Eon, Eon, I love Eon Blue. I absolutely love Eon Blue.
We have
I think
certainly established that.
hey, I think he needs to know, man. He needs to know that that dude is in my top tiers. Like that fool is fucking good. You know, let's just throw in all of Awakening. Let's just throw all of Awakening in there, and Matt Miles, like Matt Miles, homie's fucking good too. Like, yeah, yeah, that's my picks for Olympus.
Very nice. And now, let's go on to Odyssey.
Sweet, sweet Odyssey. Oh, this one is both easier and harder if you get what I mean. But Alyssa.
Name as many names as you need.
Okay, then the entire roster. Like, no, I mean Alyssa, like Alyssa, and then Rebecca Brooks. You know, Mav again. Like, I mean, you know, the person who finally killed the fucking queen and that, and like, and it's you know just everyone's up in each other's games. Janetta Stone, like, holy shit. Like she's every chick at Starbucks I've ever known, and I'm just like, oh my god, like you understand white women so fucking well, and you write them.
Jay understands white women so well. I've never heard a truer statement in my life.
And it's just like God, you made the perfect like stuck up white woman, and I'm just like, no, yeah, I live next door to that bitch. Yeah, I fucking know her. Yeah, like he's just amazing. Like it's just so good. And then like you got Hana coming in, and then you got like you know, Azarine Vebens has like her own style, which which can be, let's be honest here, it can be a bit much, but at the same time, it's like you have your own fucking style, which is really hard to do in EFED. So like, how can I fault you? So you know what I mean? But like everyone's just like, this is the season where I think people are going to come out and just kind of, we're going to have like new names this season. You know what I mean? Like next season is like season 4 is going to be started with like, all right, world champion match, Devi Crisis against Azarine Vebin.
No, I think you just made Jeff a very happy. You just made Jeff a very happy guy hearing that statement.
Now you will. Oh, and then Morgan. I mean, you bringing up Jeff being happy, like he's
The Banshee.
he's always going on about the Banshee, and I'm just right there with him with how good the Banshee is. Like it's just incredible how good everybody is. Like everyone just like we're all very tight. You know what I mean? Like we all get where we are. We all get our roles in this quote unquote company. We all understand what we're doing here and the goal that we're working towards, which is to make us the best place here, or out in the feds. And it's like everyone's just working fucking hard. And it's really fun to see. And it's like I'm kind of glad that I quit because I'm like, I couldn't keep up with you guys. Are you kidding? There's no way I'm going to be able to keep up with any of y'all. So it's fun to watch y'all from the sidelines again. Just be like, man, y'all are fucking good. Like, I don't know
Right.
how you're gonna pick next year's Hall of Fame because there's some Hall of Fame class dudes nowadays. Like, fucking name.
Well, it's kind of interesting because spoiler alert, the way that we're kind of doing it in OWA as compared to the way, for example, that EAW did theirs is we're trying to avoid picking people who are actively competing in
Well, that makes sense.
OWA. There's, of course, exceptions, like Arya, for instance, but for
Right.
the most part, we're trying to not pick people that are actively competing.
Well, then you've got some your pick of the litter for future Hall of Famers then, because those down the line you're gonna have some hard times on who to put in and what
Yeah,
year.
I would say about like 5 to 7 years from now.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm saying Matt first ballot. That fool's going in without just where it's gonna be like, okay, and Maverick is going in, and no one's gonna say anything, and it's gonna be like, yeah, okay, we all assume that. There you go. You're my boy, Maverick.
All right, here we go. Next question. Uh, Let me keep scrolling. From Arya. Uh, who would play Kenny Drake in an OWA miniseries?
Michael Pitt.
Aw.
I don't think that dude acts anymore. I wouldn't.
It's
Uh,
our universe. It's our canon.
that's true. All right, let's go with I don't know who's bald and kind of intimidating. Um, who's that guy who played the Thing in Fantastic Four? Big fat guy. Vic Mackey. No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea. I'd go with Michael. I'm gonna go with Michael Pitt just because he's a really good actor and it's a nice little fun little throwback. He'd probably look good bald.
Our next question from Cloud. What are you most proud of in your career? Would it not be
Mm,
the run of the Wolves Den over the years?
Um, I'd say Wolves Den. Yeah, I'd say the I mm, I guess I'd be most proud of mm, I guess how well like received the storylines that I pitched were or got, you know what I mean? Like the feud with Tara that went over pretty well and then the feud with Cage that went over pretty well and like, the whole I mean, I didn't come up with the world title idea, but that shit. And then, like I just like I guess the things that I'm most proud of are just like the things that I came up with having a good reaction and like people taking kindly to my ideas
Right, as they
because
should.
yeah, well, I'm like my harshest critic, like I come up with an idea and I'm
Oh,
like, well,
I'm
that's fucking
confident that we all
horrible.
are.
Of course, like anyone who loves to do a creative thing is probably going to be their harshest critic, but it's like to see like the live you very rarely get to see like a live reaction of like one of your things, especially when it's writing. So to see like for example when Kenny returned when during after the JD Maverick match, like to see that whole reaction and then see he be in voice and hear people or be in chat and hear people go like, oh shit, it's Kenny, and stuff like that. Like I was just like, man, like just like, okay, cool, like I wrote a cool little thing right there. Okay, that's cool. All right, I'm proud of that. Like I'm proud of that. Like 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 titles and accolades and stuff like cool, like that's fun, but like I try not to take that stuff too seriously. But then when it comes to like if a storyline is well received, like if like when Tara and Kenny won, not won, but like when people were like, yeah, that was a good feud.
You guys
Like,
did
oh,
win. You guys won feud of the year.
I know, but like I just got done saying like accolades and titles don't really mean anything. But then when we won, that was fucking sick,
Well, yeah, of course.
But like
You earned the right. You earned the right.
yeah, I know, but it's just I don't know. But just to know that people enjoyed the stuff that I came up with, and I was able to come up with like fun storylines that brought some fun to the place. That's what I'm proud of. I'm really proud of just being able to be creative and it going well.
That's the right answer.
Thank you. Thank you, because I feel like I'm rambling a lot, smoking a lot of weed and drinking some beer. So
This is gonna go over well.
let's
Don't
fucking
worry about
party
it.
here. Let's have some fun.
People are gonna love this. Don't worry about it.
Good, good. I'm already having a great time.
Would you soccer kick a small goat for $15 million? Asked Rev.
I'd do it for $15. I fucking yeah, like of course. Well, okay. Hold on. What are we talking, like a baby goat or like?
Well, it says small.
full-grown?
It says small goat. So I'm going
So I'm
to.
gonna assume it's an adult goat that's just like got dwarfism or something. Yeah, I'd kick it in the face. Fuck it. It's an adult. It can handle it. Fuck it. I'm not gonna kick a baby. I'm not a monster. But if it's just like a midget, fuck you. I'm gonna pay for your vet bills with my 15 million. Okay, relax, you stupid goat. Shit. Like, I mean, shit. It works out for everybody. Of course, yes, 100%.
Rev's next question: crackhead energy or meth head aura? Which one?
Oof. Oof. Meth heads seem to look like they have a lot of fun.
So meth head aura.
I'd go with meth head aura. Yeah, crackheads seem to be like really edgy. When I did have that little bit of crack, that shit did suck.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Favorite thing about fatherhood? Asked Cloud.
My babies. Everything. Like I know that's a cop out answer, but it's everything. Like just like I wake up and then there's Raven, and it's like, oh, okay, well that's a great morning. And then I make her breakfast, and then she's like, hey, Daddy, waffles are great. And I'm like, fucking, they are, kid. And then like we high five, and it's amazing. And she thinks that giving a thumbs up is like the funniest shit in the world, and it is when she does it. So it's like I don't, And then Jubilee is just a psychopath, and she's like just running around the house yelling apple, and she just looks you in the eyes and goes like apple, and you're like, tight. Do you want an apple? And then she's like, no, and then she runs away, and you're like, okay, this is the greatest day ever. just everything about having kids is great for now. I will acknowledge that they will grow up to become shitheads because that's just the human way. And, and that's fine. That's whatever. Just don't kill anybody that doesn't deserve it. And, whatever. Just don't be a dick. You are gonna be, but just don't be if you can help it. And that's it. But for now, everything is great. Except when they shit their pants, because that's just way too often. Stop it. Just go to the toilet. It's right there. Blippi. Jeez. Every time I see his goddamn face. That dude made $20 million last year now.
20 million? I like how you're still going on about this.
This motherfucker made $20 million, and all he does is just run around a playground and go like, this is red. And you're like, oh, okay. Like, I could have done that. Like, I'm going to go do that. You know what? I'm going to go do that right now. And then she doesn't like it because it's not Blippi. And you're like, okay, whatever. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
All right. Well, we got a whole set of questions here
Oh, bless your heart.
from young Jeffrey Exington.
Ah, young Jeffrey Exington of the Greenwich Exington.
Of all the titles you've won in your years doing this, which championship run was your favorite?
That's a great question.
Well, I mean, elaborate for the people real quick, just so they really know. How many championships have you won over the years?
I've only ever won 4, and they were all here. So that's kind of funny. I guess technically 5. No, 4. I don't even know. Me as a writer, I am a 2-time tag team champion as Kenny Drake with Nick Cage as
Right.
Wolves Den, and then also as Grime. I am a 1-time women's world champion as Nikki Khan. I'm a multiple time 24/7 champion as Kyle. Fucking Kyle. And then world champion as Kenny Drake. So, which is pretty sick. That's a pretty good resume to have. I like that. That's pretty good. I don't know, man. They're all cool. They're all cool as shit. I'd probably go with the world championship.
Of course.
Yeah, world championship, because that was just really unexpected, and just kind of like, wow, I did it. like I did that thing that everyone does. I'm just like, fucking move. like word. That's cool.
Let me put it this way, and everyone in here that's won a world title before can tell you, you never forget your first.
That's I don't doubt, man. I can understand that now, man. Like that's gonna stick with me.
I'm sure Arya, Azumi, Oasis, Cloud, Jeff, they can all tell you, because I know I can. That first one, nothing will ever feel better than that first one.
Dude, it was an energy that was hard to top, and I'm sorry to get all weird about it, but it was fucking just really cool. Like, because when you think, when you break it all down, this is competitive, is it not?
We are going against each other and competing to see who can do better.
Exactly. So we are, a competitive writing thing, and the top, show of who the best writer, quote unquote, would be that championship. So it's like, to even be going for it is like, whoa,
that means that you're in the mix.
Exactly. And that's fucking nutty for someone like me, who's been really doubtful of their abilities, and then to actually be able to not only be in that match, but then get the win, and then hold the title for a decent amount of time, and then
because you went from when was Hardcore Havoc 2? Does anyone remember what month that was? December. You went from December 2019 to what was the next Hardcore Havoc?
So about 6
May 2020. Arya says
5 or 6 months.
Yeah, so you went from December to May. That's a pretty long time.
Yeah, and then in that, to then beat someone like Keelan, who's fucking really good, and then to beat Goose at the biggest show, it was just this is fucking crazy. I cannot stress that enough for for someone who's been doing this since 2002, you know what I mean? Well, off and on since 2002, and to always be the guy who was people would be like, I guess you're okay, but then the champions are really fucking good, and I was never up to their level, and then to finally be the guy for that amount of time, and to do all these things, I'm just like, that's holy shit. That. I guess I'm not bad at this. You know what I mean? I'm not I'm not like, that thing that's telling me that I can't do it is wrong. I can do this.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's like that world title was really fucking cool. And then a very close second would be the Grime tag title win, just because I like, beat tag teams that were, I technically beat 4 people just by myself. No, not to sound like a dick, not to be like, I beat 4 people by myself and I'm fucking sick. But like to be like, I did the whole thing on my own, like, did a
I get
whole
it.
tag run, going against 2 people all by myself. Like, I don't know. I thought I was pretty proud of like being able to do that while also being Nikki, while also being Kyle, while also being Kenny. And like, it was just like, well, that's, like, I'm just kind of like, oh, wow, that's okay.
That's definitely something to be
Like,
proud of.
yeah, like I'm like, it verified that like I do have a handle on this and like I'm not shitty at it. I'm moderate to successful. So there you go. Solid B plus. Told you, Dad.
Our
What?
next our next question from Jeff. If you had to say yes, I mean, if I'd have said yes to joining Wolves Den back in early season 1 when you asked me, how do you think that would have played out? That would have been interesting with both him and Cage as like your proteges on some like evolution type shit.
Oh, that would have been. That would have.
It would have been like
Well, that would have.
dark evolution.
That's a really good way of putting it. It's like I like that. I might actually steal that for something. Um, but yeah, no, that would have been a really interesting dynamic to have been able to play with. Because then like we would have, we
Not
would have been
that
able
kind of dark Oasis.
dark evolution. Oh my. But yeah, that would have been a really fun dynamic to have played with because, like, like as you said, like both of them would have been technically my proteges. So, like, to have 2 polar opposite characters
Right.
vying for like the number one, like, vying for like the attention of this cult leader
And it would have
would
added
have.
a whole new layer to their eventual rivalry that came afterwards.
Oh, Jesus Christ, it would have made it just so personal, like even more personal than it already was. Like it would have just, but like, but then here's the thing, like we could sit here all day and think about what could have been, but like let's all just agree that what happened was fucking excellent
Oh, of
anyway. So
course.
like, so Jeff versus Cage was perfect the way it was, but I mean, just to fantasy book that, yeah, that's some cool shit. Like there's a reason why every version of Wolves Den that I create in video games, like I throw like Jeff X or Randy Orton in there. Like, oh, she's kind of like, nope, get in there, buddy. You're a part of this.
Are you drinking? Is Jeff's next question.
You better believe it.
What was your first time smoking weed like? Or
Shitty.
first when was it?
It was when I was, well, how old was I? 15? I think 15. 15 or 16. It was in my buddy's backyard, and I think it was out of a makeshift pipe. And it was really strong weed, and there was no like filtration system on the thing, so it was just a straight up hit. And and I was just kind of like, oh, it's probably just like a cigarette, because I was just an idiot, and it was not like a cigarette. And I distinctly remember driving down the street, driving down the freeway, and my buddy Nestor, from the retard from before, he was driving, and I was like, Nestor, look out, there's people crossing the street. And he's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? And, obviously there was no one crossing the street. And I'm just like, Nestor, look out, there's people. And no, there's not. Stop it. And then I could have sworn that there was a truck coming at us, and I was just like, Nestor, 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 Nestor. And he's like, you need to shut the fuck up right now, or I'll kick your ass. And I did, because I wasn't an idiot. And then when we got to the spot, I, I was apparently trying to set up for an ollie for about 5 minutes, which if anyone's ever skated and tried to pop an ollie, it takes you like, a second to do it. And I was just fucking standing there, just moving my feet on the board, just getting ready. It's gonna be the best ollie ever. It's gonna be so fucking high. And I was rolling through the parking lot, and they were just like, Ken should never smoke again, ever. And then
You did not listen.
And no, well, actually, no. For like a good like 6 years, like they kind of were just kind of like, no, remember what happened? And I was like, no, I don't. And they're like, you were a complete fucking moron, and
Oh.
that's coming from us. So like, that kind of kept me like off weed until I went to film school and I
So
met Nikki.
yeah. So you waited until you became a functioning adult, then you started smoking.
Exactly. And then I met
Okay.
Nikki, and then she would just kind of like, no, you just need to like, not smoke that much. And then I didn't, and then it was really fun. And then I was just like, oh, this shit is amazing. And here we are. So, yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
Our next question from Jeffrey. Who's your favorite in real life wrestler ever?
God damn it. God damn it. Cactus Jack.
I had a feeling you were gonna say Foley.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. 100%.
It makes too much sense.
Right? Right? Like, I mean, it has to be him. Like, it just has to be him. Like, just everything that he's done. Like, he's like, and he's just not a good wrestler. You know what I mean? Like, which I think is funny. Like, he's just not very good at it. He's just so unbelievably endearing, and he's just the greatest deathmatch guy ever. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. He's the greatest deathmatch guy ever. And then to like, go from that to being the WWF champion while looking like you've been stung by a million bees is fucking crazy. Like, he's just the greatest. Like, he's just so
And
good. And like,
he's really good at helping establish other guys too, which is something that you also became known for after a while.
goddamn right. Goddamn right.
He helped make Rock a main event guy. He definitely helped Triple H become a main event guy with those matches they had in 2000.
Oh, 100%.
He helped
100%.
reinvigorate Undertaker with that Cell match. He kicked off Austin's title reign perfectly as his first challenger.
He was the perfect foil for Kane for a very long time.
Yeah, Kane as well.
The whole thing with the I want to call them the Authority, but they're not that. The corporation.
Yes.
Like him being used by them, and then like his like eventual vengeance. Oh God, it's just his storytelling. His promo with JR. You know exactly which one I'm talking about. I'm sure of it.
The one that established the faces.
Exactly. And he's telling his life story and how he loved pain and like not loved pain, but like he realized that he's like, I can handle it and I can make a living off of this. Like just that whole thing was just mind blowing to someone at my age, just to be like, well, like I couldn't believe that someone was like that, and then to just be like, and then to see him have these matches, I was just like, he's the most fearless person I've ever seen in my life. Like he's fucking crazy, and then he had a family. You know what I mean? Like he was the king of the death match, and he got his ear ripped off by Vader, and he fucking was blown up by C4, and he got half of his arm burned off, and he had no teeth, and he had a gorgeous wife and kids. You know what I mean? And it was just like, this dude is incredible. Like he's the most fascinating person I've ever heard of. And to this day, I think of him as like just like he's fucking nutty. Like I love him. Like I love Mick Foley. He's just like my introduction to what wrestling could be besides dudes just beating each other up. Like from before that, I just like, oh yeah, Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior and Andre the Giant and I think Rick Rude. Yes,
Yes.
okay. But like at that age, I was just kind of like, I don't know who the fuck any of these people are. I just know that they beat each other up, and I don't remember their names. And then Foley came around, and I was just like, oh, I remember you. Like, fucking holy shit. And then Cactus Jack, you're just like, that's the greatest character. Okay, there he is, greatest character ever. It was fun.
Omega
Yes.
OWA OmegaCon when?
The minute that COVID is resolved.
We've already begun making plans for that. Many of you were there for that discussion.
Perfect.
It will be happening.
And as per Ric Flair, we will be renting out the entire top floor of a Marriott. Because that's apparently the wrestling way, and we are an e-wrestling thing.
When's Kyle coming back to win the world championship?
Kyle. He's not. He might. I don't know. Whatever. Fucking tomorrow.
Tomorrow, be on the lookout.
That's it. There is. Or, Saturday or something. I don't know. Whatever.
Have you told Nikki that I'm your real soulmate? As in Jeff.
Several times. Several times, and she is beginning to come around to it. She will, because she has to. Because it's the truth. And she can't do anything about it. It's fine. She understands. She will. Doesn't matter. Who cares? Just you and me, baby. There's a very awkward silence now. I don't.
I'm scrolling through questions. Okay, we got.
No, I know. I'm just.
We have a list of questions from Sir Revenant.
Damn.
Pick a fruit, then sell the idea of a feud between you and the fruit.
I'm gonna go with a banana.
Okay.
Because in college you fucked my girl.
Oh.
Swear to God. I know. Came home one day. That son of a bitch was cooking dinner or some shit.
So it's personal.
Like, hey. And I was like, hey, who are you? And he was like, I'm a fucking banana. And I'm just like, God damn it. And I punched him in the face. I'm still very stoned for now. I don't know. I can't do that. I don't. A banana. I'll pick an apple because fuck apple.
Well, Oasis already wrote up the synopsis for it. Kenny versus an apple. Base it off the fact that Kenny's called the bad seed.
Oh shit! See, this is what I mean. This is what I've been talking about Oasis. Look at how quick that was. Look at how quick that was. I forgot I'm called the bad seed. That's my favorite nickname. I fucking forgot it. And then he was just like, oh, you said apple, bad seed. Look at him go. Jesus. Man, I'm stoned.
My pick would be I would feud with a star fruit.
A what?
A star fruit.
You made that up. I'm looking at it.
No, star fruit's a real fruit. I promise.
All right, I'm looking it up. Hold your horses.
Because
I mean, as the. Oh no, okay, there it is.
Because I need to be the true star. And there it is.
That's actually pretty. That's pretty good. Oh shit! Look at that. Star fruit. Well, what do you know? Well, all right. Well, egg on my face.
Would you rather fight MS-13 with a pipe or the Russian mob with a crossbow?
Oh, Russian mob. Fuck MS-13. I'm not going anywhere near them. They're crazy. I ain't doing that shit. I got death wishes, but not that many. Fucking no, thank you. I'll go Russian mob. Because at least with the Russian mob, I might be able to be like, hey, what if I just run away? and like just go the fuck away. And then they'd
Plus,
be like, okay,
plus if you have
you know,
if you have a crossbow, you're fighting at a distance anyway.
that's true. That's true too. Or I could just bolt. Like, could just. I would probably just run from either one of them. I don't know. Even with the crossbow, I just steal the crossbow and just be like, hey, free crossbow.
What gun could you see Rey carrying when she goes to seek vengeance on Havoc for your death?
Ooh, my dad's Glock 43.
Ooh, personal.
I feel like she would go to Papa and she would be like, Papa, gun please. And he would be like, which one, sweetheart? And she would be like, yo gun. And he'd be like, good girl. And he'd hand her his Glock 43. And she'd be like, safety on, because she's fucking smart. And then she would go and she would shoot Havoc in his goddamn head. And then she'd bring the gun back to Papa. And then she'd be like, thank you, Papa. And then she'd give him a hug because she's a good girl. And then she'd go watch cartoons because she's a good girl. So a Glock 43 from Papa.
All right, our next question. To a straight edge fag, as in Rev, explain the experience of weed to him.
Depends on what you have. So I'll just explain the one that I'm doing right now. Yeah, that makes sense, right? So, you know that feeling right before you fall asleep where you're like not fully asleep, but you're not fully awake. And you're kind of like, yeah, this is a good moment right here. That's what it's like. It's like that. And you're inhaling it. Pretty much, yeah, something like that. Relaxing as fuck. And then, if you have a completely different strain, you could be like, I have never been more energized, and I'm going to go for a fucking jog, and I'm going to paint a picture whilst jogging. And I just used the word whilst because of this weed. And, like it completely depends. Completely depends. And to be honest with you, I think Stark would be able to explain that a little bit better because that dude's a little bit more articulate than me when it comes to that kind of stuff. And in most ways.
Is a bat not just an angry stick?
It's an extremely angry stick. That's a very good point.
Are you pro IRA?
Of course.
Is Sav not the biggest hoe in OWA?
Actually, can I go back to that IRA one real quick?
Yes, you can.
Apparently, I'm related to the vice president of Sinn Féin, which is like or the former vice president of Sinn Féin, which is like the, I always was told it was like the legal branch of the IRA. So yes, I'm pro IRA. But yeah, so Sav, what about Sav?
Is Sav not the biggest hoe in OWA?
Well, she's technically very small, so...
Does it make her the smallest hoe?
She's... Oh, you mean in scope of honess?
Yes.
Mucho grande. Yeah, I'd say... I don't know.
And there it is.
She's a good girl.
Is Arya not just a monster can in human form?
I don't know how she drinks so much Monster. I don't know how all of you guys drink.
I don't either.
I don't understand how there's that many different variations of Monster. I don't know how Monster is still allowed in the United States.
It never appealed to me.
I just don't get. You guys are dancing with death, my friends. You guys are, but I mean, have fun, you young kids, you young Turks, you
young whippersnappers,
you lucky youths. Enjoy your liquid fucking crack. I'm gonna enjoy my coffee like a goddamn adult.
If you were to bomb a Costco, because
What?
they refused your coupon. How are you doing it?
I the old-fashioned way.
What were your thoughts on the build up to promoing for and the Great War match itself? Well, you kind of spoke on this stuff a little bit, but give us an actual like your actual mental
My
status through this whole thing.
my thoughts on well, at that
Okay,
time
well
I kind of knew.
let's start with the build up to the Great War. Let's break this down by each point. So first
Right.
the build up to it.
So like build up to the Great War, I'm not gonna lie, I was in a very shitty place mentally because of, extraneous reasons. I don't know if that's the right word. Who gives a shit? But I was in a shitty place mentally, and I'm not afraid to talk about it. But, like that's where I was. And I was having a lot of, problems with motivation and self-esteem and shit like that. So I would promo and I would just be like, this is the biggest fucking bullshit thing the world has ever seen in their life, and I hate every word that I put on the page, and everything about it is just makes me cringe when I reread it. And now, upon rereading it, now that I've sought proper help and shit like that, and I'm all good now for the most part. I'm like, no, it's actually okay. But at the time, I was like, this is horrible. Like, I hate everything that I do. I don't like doing this because I don't like being bad at shit. And, I kind of knew I was on my way out. So I wasn't really, like I was trying really, really fucking hard with my promos. And I was just desperately I was going until the very last minute and okay, I got to put something down. And I would seek motivation from anything. And I was just bad at, I just couldn't wrap my head around things at the time. So then when the Great War itself actually happened and I did that one promo, I did that literally as that's my last ever promo. That's just what, that's how I'm going out. So I put a lot of effort into it, and I put I tried to make it final. I tried to make it seem like this is the last that you guys are gonna, before the Great War, this is the last normal thing of Kenny Drake that you're gonna see. And I thought it was a pretty good promo, and I enjoyed writing it. And I especially no offense to Goose, I love Goose, but he brings out his shit is very well written, and it makes me just kind of go oh fuck, this guy is making me come up with shit, and I hate having to come up with shit. So I would try really hard against Goose specifically. So all the shit that I wrote against him was shit that I've been saving for a really long time.
Right.
And I was just I just wanted to go out on a really good note and just try to put people I still wanted to try to put people over by making them seem larger than life. That's why I put a lot of effort into Goose, because he's a very larger than life character, and I wanted to make him seem like the fucking devil. You know what I mean? I'm the most evil person in the world, but I'm somehow good compared to to him, at least in my mind. So I wanted to really try to push on that. And then, but I knew that was going to be the very, no matter what, that was the last thing that I was going to do. And, it was mildly dramatic. It was mildly over dramatic. And, especially that final thing with I am the Black Dead Nightmare and all that shit. That was Motorhead, and I thought I was being clever. But, that was it. That was just beginnings of, depression of a father just trying his best in a creative outlet. And then his final The little swan song. That was it. Oh, that
Right.
turned depressing. Fuck. Sorry
Don't
about
worry.
that.
There's a lot more questions that'll pick people up.
Oh, good. Good, good, good.
But we'll be talking about a little bit more death, though, because Rev says when he gets whacked by the feds, can you two link up in heaven for Starbucks?
I'm getting you the best drink in the entire world, which is a Venti Vanilla Mocha, the second that you arrive. So, yeah.
Is Jeff not the human version of a Budweiser can?
Does he drink Budweiser?
I believe they're called Jeff Weisers.
Then fucking yes, he is. Oh my god. And I love Budweiser. See, I mean, that's what. See, that's serendipitous. Look at that. There that is. Yes, he is. And I love him for it.
Would
He
you rob a
tastes
snowman with a blowtorch to get back a pack of M&Ms he stole from you?
great. What? Yes. What? Why don't I just take it from him? He's a snowman. Let's be like, hey, you. I'm a fucking human being. Give me back my M&Ms. And it'll be like, oh yeah, I don't have a digestive tract. And I'll be like, yeah, you don't have a fucking digestive tract. What are you gonna do with them? And I'll be like, okay, I'm sorry. And I'll
Why are you
fucking
so
take them.
fucking good at match writing? That's Reb's final question. Well, he's got one
Mm.
more later down, but in this group of questions,
Right.
that's his last one.
I feel you. I don't know. Am I? Yeah, I guess. I thank you. Mm, I don't know. I just picture it and then I just try to make it seem realistic. I don't know. I don't know, Rev. Fuck, man. Come on.
What does dead ass mean from Jeff X?
I have no fucking idea. Seriously? Yes, I'm serious.
Jeff, would you like to tell him?
No, that's the joke. That's the joke. Is that he said?
No, I understand. But I want Jeff to say it.
Fucking Jeff, say it.
You can be heard. Jeff, say it. I don't think he's going to say it.
That's fine.
Somebody else say it. Arya, what does dead ass mean?
Do I have to say it because I'm black?
No, you were just the next person I thought of.
If somebody says dead ass, that means like for real. Like they're telling you that they're not bullshitting.
And with that, we're going to move on to the next question by Scott Oasis. Potential ideas for characters that you left on the cutting room floor, as in character concepts that you never got to execute.
Oh, there's a bunch. I had an Eddie Kingston idea, one that was going to be like a just Eddie Kingston, pretty much. So I just kind of scrapped that because I didn't want to just be him with a Eddie Kingston big face, you know, just gonna be like, hey, look at me, you know. But I had I had a masked Japanese character named Akira X, who is related to Jeff X.
Jap X, the real Jap X.
That is the legitimate one. And then like I actually came up with that character in like 2004, and his finishing move was called Sports Entertainment X, which spells sex, by the way. That was really clever. And
how old were you in 2004?
I don't remember. 18. Oh God.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay.
Oh God. Jesus. Yeah. There's a bunch of them, you know. Like I have a Viking character that I think would be not a Viking, you know, not like an actual Viking, but like a big fucking Norwegian guy.
Right.
That would, you know,
like War Raiders.
Exactly. Like, you know, just like a one-man version of that. Like, you know, I'd probably use one of them as the pick base. And it would, you know, just shit like that. You know, just whatever my interests are. That could be a wrestling character. I've like toyed around with a couple of, you know, ideas. But most of the time, like I can never come up with a name, so I always like scrap them pretty fast. I'm always just kind of like, I'm gonna name him Floki. No, fucking, are you kidding? Like, okay, Ragnar. No, okay. Eric. God damn it. And I just kind of get over it fast because I can't come up with a name.
Next question from Oasis. When we first met, I accidentally found a sign up of yours in a Fed called WCF, which I was also in briefly. Any memories from Feds you were in before this community and what those experiences were like? Angles
Holy
that
shit.
stood out or people you interacted with?
Holy shit, you were in WCF, weren't you? I remember you telling me that. Fucking that place was weird. Um, yeah, there was a lot of places that I've been that were like really fun, like really cool places. I started on the IGN boards way back when.
Oh my god.
I know, right? Like way down at the bottom, way down at the fucking bottom of the message board, there was the IGN JL and the IGN WF. And the JL was the junior league. Like you had to prove yourself to get into the WF by beating people in match. It was a match writing fed, so that might have something to do with why I like to write matches because that place was taught me a lot about it. And like I was incredibly unsuccessful there. Like I was the biggest joke. Like they made fun of me at every turn, but I didn't give a shit because I got to write matches and I got to, be part of this really weird thing at the time. And I remember there was a character named Stubby Potts McWeed. And I remember thinking that was just like a really fucking funny name when I was like 12 or whatever. Or not 12. Like I don't remember how old I was. Like 16. And be like, huh, weed's funny. And then, just kind of snowballed from there. And then I went to a place called OWAST, which is now a comedic an erotic comedy fed run by two people, and it's just those two posting shows back and forth to each other, and it's fucking weird now.
Oh.
And it's really weird now. But at the time, it was real fed, and when I did it, it was real fed, and I had a lot of fun there, and I met a lot of cool people that I'm still friends with nowadays that don't fed anymore. But I've asked them a couple of times to join OWA, and they're just like, no. But thanks for asking. And yeah, but I think like the best place I've ever been is OWA. Really, not to be like a weirdo, but like you guys are just, it all works really well, and it's really cool.
We family.
We're exactly, like we all we're family.
What's the best fast food in your opinion?
I don't know. Like fast food place or like
Yeah, place.
type of fast food place. Okay. I don't know. Fucking McDonald's. No, that's bullshit. That's not true at all. In-N-Out. What am I talking about? Fucking In-N-Out. Of course, In-N-Out. In-N-Out.
Okay, In-N-Out. That West Coast coming out.
Of course. Like there's nothing else that even everything else could just be McDonald's as far as I'm concerned. In-N-Out is the shit, and it's just fuck. It's good. God, now I want In-N-Out. What would be like the East Coast equivalent of In-N-Out? Five Guys.
You guys don't got Five Guys out there?
I only ever went to In-N-Out.
I mean, maybe. Okay, Arya says that you guys do have Five Guys. Oh, Sonic. Do you guys have Sonic out there?
I've actually never seen a real Sonic. I've only ever seen commercials for Sonic. So, maybe we did.
Okay, Arya says you guys have Sonic as well. I don't know.
Have you guys ever been to a Sonic? I've never fucking seen one.
I have.
Ever. You have? That's insane. You might be the first person I've ever met who's ever been
I've been to multiple.
That's fucking insane to me. Like different ones.
There was one. Okay, so when I lived in Jersey, there was one like on the highway of like my neighborhood. Like as soon as you leave my neighborhood, you get onto a highway, and down that highway, there was a Sonic.
No shit.
And then when I moved here in Georgia, about like high school years, there was also one that was like probably like 15 to 20 minutes from where I lived.
That is crazy to me because every time I've ever heard like tried to go to Sonic, it was like it's in Tracy, and like in San Jose, that's like a 4-hour drive, and it's like I'm not
Jeez,
going
San
to fucking
Jose.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm not going to fucking Tracy for Sonic. Like I'm not going to Tracy for anything. I want to go to
Given
Tracy
both
to
you
save
and
something.
Arya's reactions, I assume Tracy is not a very fun place.
It's a pointless place. It's a town that should not be. It's just there. I saw there's a band that came to
Well,
play
apparently
in
there's a Sonic there.
Are you fucking kidding me? Is it really?
That's
The one I'm
that's
talking
what
about?
yeah,
Oh.
that's what you heard.
Oh, I don't even know where it is. It could be in Tracy. Fucking, I think it was Tracy or somewhere like fucking like Stockton or Bakersfield or something like that. Like I'm not going to any of those places. Like those places are horrible. Well, I mean, maybe not Bakersfield. Bakersfield's okay. No, it's not.
Well, let's go ahead and get to Oasis' last question here. Would you ever want to try for a boy, big homie?
Of course. That'd be fun as shit, but not anytime soon. Because that's stressful as fuck. So I'm not doing that again anytime soon. Nah. And then I think Nikki wants a break too. So
I'm pretty sure she would like to not push another one out so soon.
I'm pretty sure her whole plan is to be like, no, let's wait on that one, big dog. So yeah, no. But yeah, no, I mean, that'd be fun as shit to have a son. I'd love to have a boy.
And Rev's final question here. Top 3 favorite knees that you've smashed into oblivion.
REV.
You knew that was coming.
Of course it was.
Is there anyone else?
I've only ever smashed in one knee, so. And it was the best one. I didn't have to follow it up because it was the best one possible. So, mwah, Rev.
Well, all right. Let me check. See what time we're at. Oh, that's a pretty good time.
Late.
We're just a little bit over an hour 30. I'd say that's pretty solid timing overall. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Kenny Drake edition. Actually, hold on a second, Kenny. Let's tell a quick story before we go. And this was the story of the idea that we had that alternatively could have taken place if Kenny Drake hadn't died in the Great War.
Oh, yes. We could have potentially had Kenny Drake versus Nas.
Which would have been first time ever. Which is
First time.
fucking crazy to me. Because we had been around each other for years and years, but we'd never fought. And now that's a match that just never happens.
Never say never. Never say never, buddy.
I guess I could drag out your corpse and fight it in the cemetery.
Just pin me, brother. I'll do the job. 1, 2, 3. I'm a pro. No worries. We'll call it in the yard, man. We'll call it. No, but I am kind of bummed that
Yeah,
like
no, but
although I'm also a little bit shocked that never came down. That never happened. Like how did?
Yeah, but I mean, like the prime time where we would have fought was when I was in my grudge feud with Aaron and you were in your grudge feud with Rami.
True. Oh, Rami, I miss you.
Oh man,
Put on the Call of Duty, Rami, and come back to us, man.
right.
Damn it. But yeah, no, that would have been a lot of fun. We would have
Yeah,
had a
and
lot
the
of
whole
fun.
premise behind that whole setup, by the way, would have been following my heel turn. Like, you guys know my characters and the whole, like, deranged, like, he feels like he needs to be the center of attention and that everyone else from his generation that gets more praise from the fans than him, he feels like he has to attack them and then try and beat them to prove his superiority, which Kenny Drake falls in that group of his generation.
Goddamn right it does. But naturally,
And
Kenny
the
Drake's not going to stand up to that shit.
right, but an extra layer of that would have been piggybacking off of the season 1 storyline between Kenny and Tara, given the fact that the heel turn occurred from Nas attacking Tara, his wife. And then it would have been a whole thing of Nas aligning with Cage and Nas taking the barbed wire baseball bat and then attacking Kenny with it, and it would have been a really cool story, all things considered. And it would have had a lot of callbacks to a lot of other stories. Like Nas aligning with Cage would have called back to Cage and Kenny's story, as well as the Tara stuff would have called back to Kenny versus Tara.
It's true. It would have almost been like a role reversal kind of thing.
Right, it would have looped back to some old stuff, but it would have had a lot of new stuff as well. And also, it would have been the first time, because the match that Nas and Kenny were gonna have was gonna be like completely like insane, like no holds barred type of rules that like I don't put my character in those types of situations a lot. Like, you don't see Nas do a lot of like the super hardcore like bloodbath type shit. He's more of like the pure wrestling kind of guy. So seeing him in that kind of environment would have been really cool.
It would have been sick too, just because of like the dialogue that would have happened in the match. Because we're both like, we're both known for our dialogue in the middle of matches.
Yes.
Like, talking shit to our opponent.
The banter.
So that would have been some like Cell Saga style shit. Like that's just like in a collar and elbow, just going like, you think that you're superior. You don't even have solid footing in a collar and elbow.
But no, I had stuff planned. Like, one spot that just was in my mind, I might use this in a future match, but one spot I had in my mind was doing the Rhino's fucking pile driver off the apron.
Yeah. I always love that shit.
Yeah, I wanted to do that, but then like through a table.
Like a glass table?
I did not plan what kind of table it was, but now I see it.
Like, now that you got Kenny Drake, my friend, you have Mr. Literal Salt in the wounds over here. So you gotta you gotta put him through some hell if you want to put him down, buddy. And a pile driver through a table.
Considering in this situation, it would have been a Kenny that survived the Great War.
Exactly. So this is a very powerful Kenny Drake, apparently. This is like a termite version of Kenny Drake.
Yes. So with that little story told, and glad you gave the shout out to Rami Carson Ramsey as well, because a lot of people don't know how integral he was to your early runners. Well, like everybody knows about JD now because JD's here with us, of course. Shout outs to JD.
God bless him for being here. I love him so fucking much.
Yes, but a lot of people don't know how integral Rami was to your beginnings in our community.
He's who I turned heel on. How I turned heel. So.
Which was the whole setup for Wolves Den existing in the first place.
Exactly.
Was opposing him.
If it wasn't for me aligning with Rami and being his buddy in the first place, we probably never would have had Wolves Den. Or we might have, and it would have been a completely different version of it. But, due to Rami and his influence, like fucking kind of guided the hand of it, man. fucking yeah, big ups to him, and he was a hell of a promoer too.
Right.
Amazing promoer. Like,
Right.
oh, now I'm
Like the original crew in our like friend group was me, Aaron, you, and Rami, and then of course Arya jumped in, Keelan jumped in, Nate jumped in, Oasis jumped in, Tara jumped in, and then it just kept growing from there.
right. We jumped everyone else in. They didn't jump in. We jumped them in. Yeah, they got to prove their stripes to get in here. It ain't it. You just waltz in.
Well, with that, folks, we're gonna go ahead and get ready to close things out. Kenny, you got any final words for the people?
Fuck nostalgia.
Explain for those that haven't heard. Explain the history between you and nostalgia, please.
He's a piece of shit. He's a published author, apparently. Fucking
His own
suck
words.
My nuts. He can suck it. Apparently, according to this so-called published author who couldn't write a fucking scene to save his life, I'm the worst writer he's ever seen. So clearly, that means that he doesn't proofread his shit, right?
Well,
'Cause otherwise he would have read his shit.
Speaking of Rami plays into this one as well because Nostalgia was booked in a match against Carson Ramsey.
Exactly.
Rami won the match, and then he flipped out on Oasis.
Mm-hmm. Who was just making the only call he could have because it was kind of fucking no contest there.
Saying that the only reason, saying that his promo was better than Rami's promo because he used scenes in his and Rami didn't, and he should have won the match because of it. And when
you just wanna oh my god.
When Mr. Drake here caught wind of that statement to his at the time best friend in the community, he was not very pleased.
And I am loyal like a goddamn puppy. So like I will I'll fight. I'll be a dick to people if it's for my buddy. Much to my detriment most of the time, but I'll fucking do it. So, but fuck him. Fuck Nostalgia. Fuck him. Just what a dickhead. To be fair though, I said some pretty harsh shit. And now that I'm a dad, I would be mortified if someone said that shit to me. But at the time, fuck him.
Hey man, it happens.
Hey, we all grow, except for him, because he's a pussy. And
Nostalgia, if you're out there, we got an open challenge for you.
Yeah, hey, Nostalgia, if you're out there, don't be. Fuck you. And then also, what's your fucking name, asshole, so I can look up your book, you fucking dickhead. You fucking published author, my asshole. Okay. I guess they'll publish anybody, Rice.
All right. Well, you got any final words to the people? Other than that,
I said my piece.
All right then. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Nas. I'm gonna be signing off here. It's been a fun night. We'll be back tomorrow with some more recordings, and I don't know if we'll do anybody else besides this man, but the highly anticipated Jason Long, King Maverick. We'll be listening to him tomorrow.
Fuck yes.
And we'll see if anybody else, but for now it's only him as of right now.
I will be tuning in.
With that, ladies and gents, have a great night. We'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.